A comprehensive look at trends, fund profiles, and more in Exploring ETFs.
We're going to talk about some ETFs you might want to keep an eye on, maybe in for a wild ride in light of what's happened recently with China's currency. Eric Dutram, our ETF strategist, here to shed some light on all of that for us. So, is basically second largest economy in the world devalued their currency, took the markets by surprise, really.
That's right. China has actually been trading their currency, the renminbi, in a very narrow band over these last couple months, even the last couple years. And we've actually seen a steady appreciation of their currency. But thanks to some weak numbers out of China on the manufacturing front, they decided, hey, if we weaken our currency a little bit, we're going to see some better numbers here. Maybe it'll boost our economy. But this is also starting to really cascade into some other areas here, even though it was only a 2% move lower. But this 2% move was the biggest in a couple decades for China. But people are starting to get worried that other markets, especially those in Asia and major trading partners, are going to have to do something similar in order to compete with China in this regard.
There's talk on both sides of the issue. People feel that China's economy is really going to take a nosedive now, even worse than it's been. Other people feel China's at a turning point, and this just helps mark that turning point. So where are you at in all of this? Is this going to impact the economies of other countries?
Well, I think we're going to see major impacts here, and that's largely because this is going to help Chinese exporters. And as Chinese goods become more competitive, it's going to hurt other countries that are also trying to do exports. And then countries that sell a lot of goods to China, they're going to get hurt because foreign products are going to be more expensive for the average Chinese person. So, it's kind of a double whammy here, and this is going to especially impact those countries that do a lot of business with China. And as you might imagine, a lot of their neighbors, in that Asia and Asia-Pacific region are going to be the most impacted by this trend.
All right, so you're going to focus for this conversation on the economies that are impacted.
Right.
Right, and so you're going to start talking first about Southeast Asia.
That's right. We saw a lot of rough trading in this area. As soon as China announced this devaluation, Southeast Asia does a lot of business with China, be it exports and imports. And there's speculation that these countries, since they're a lot smaller than China, but they do a lot of the same products, they're going to have to do similar measures in order to weaken their currencies. And then that's hurting their currencies against the dollar again, too. So some countries to look out here are Malaysia, EWM is the ETF here. Indonesia, EIDO is the symbol here. And Thailand is also one that was hit hard. THD is the symbol there. All three were down more than 2.5%. Indonesia was down almost 6% on the day. So some big moves here as a result of this Chinese currency change.
All right, Korea is also on your watch list.
That's right. Korea and China are becoming a little closer in terms of economic development here over the last couple of years. And this trend is really, starting to, cascade into all sectors of Korea's economy, be it from tourism. Tourism companies in Korea were among the most hit after China announced their devaluation. And actually, in terms of exports and imports, China is the #1 trading partner for Korea. So any news out of China is going to impact Korea very significantly. Their top ETF, EWY, was also hit. It was down about 3% on that day, and it's down almost double digits in the past, 3-month period.
And then you say Australia also.
That's right. Australia is obviously a very developed market, but they actually do a lot of commodities. And as you might guess, China being such a large country that's developing, it consumes a lot of the commodities that Australia produces. So any bad news out of China really hurts Australia in a very significant way. Actually, China accounts for nearly 30% of Australia's exports, and Australia's exports, about 40% are coal and iron ore. And as weaker commodity prices, kind of shift throughout the economy, this is really going to hurt Australia in this regard, impact a lot of their exports, just across the board. EWA is the top ETF for Australia. This was also hit in the recent trading, and then we also saw FXA, which is the currency ETF for the Australian dollar. This was also impacted by this news. So a lot of rough trading across the board in this Asia-Pacific region, and pretty much all of it can be tied back to this China devaluation of their currency.
So are these the top 3 on your list, or are these just the countries that are going to be the most impacted? Are there other countries?
I mean, pretty much everyone's going to be impacted. We saw the U.S. market kind of go lower immediately following this and lower again today after a little bit more devaluation from China. So this is going to be a major world concern just because China is such a large market and had been such a big driver of global growth. So pretty much everyone should have this on their radar, but investors in any of these Asia Pacific markets are going to be among the most impacted.
All right, and today being the 12th of August. Big question here, do you own any of these?
I actually do own EWM, the Malaysia fund, but it's for a very long-term account. So, not much of a trading position, just a, kind of a 20, 30-year thing.
All right, well, good luck with that. In the meantime, if you want to check out more information on ETFs, ETF-specific information, or commentary information on broader trends, you can always check it out in the ETF section of Zacks.com. If you're not there on the website watching this video, get on over. You can link to that section on ETFs right off the homepage using the Funds tab in the top toolbar. And if you're watching our videos out in syndication land, YouTube being one of the places, don't forget when you're there, you can subscribe to these videos and comment on them. With Eric, I'm Terry Ruffalo.